guess that's what a farm wife does, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, when you look at a total field loss, it's about $1,800.
We're managed and measured.
Hello and happy day. Welcome to New Age Custom Farming. If you're new here, we are a custom farming operation in Wisconsin, but we also do a lot of cash cropping, and that is what we're doing today. We are in the fields officially with both combines, shelling corn. Mason he just got in that combine there, and we also have a special guest with us here today on the farm, Marcel from Bushel Plus, so I'm sure we'll get some insights and a lot of stuff from him too. And also, I need to apologize right away off the bat for the wind. It is extremely windy today, and of course we do not have our microphones with us. So that's farming. We'll get as much content as we can in the cabs of us talking, so you're not listening to the Midwest wind as we officially get underway with harvest and both combines going.
Okay, give her. I'll just video doing it. Perfect. Yep. Good to go. Here's some moisture. There's some moisture in that straw. Some really green material. It's like silage coming out of the chopper here. Probably be done here pretty soon for the night, but see what we can do. Here's beautiful sunset in Wisconsin. But when you look at those soybeans, yeah, a bit harder to see now here. It gets darker, but you see green leaves on it yet. Really nice green stems, but the pods, you know, the pods and the beans are ready. So the sample looks really good. The guys were saying here from New Age Custom Farming. There's a very tiny green little buttery pods in there, here and there, like the stuff that you really can't crack open. At least this one is matured here. So compared to what they used to deal with, they're super pumped and happy, they said. But of course this takes a lot of horsepower to get through the machine, through the chopper. But he said he has all grades in there now, in the first and second position in the CR, and also all grade extensions. And he said he had a really easy time to set the combine. It was a lot easier to find the right setting compared to what he used to deal with, specifically in these really tough conditions here. A little tough?
Oh yeah, the slug wrench and I don't get along.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
We've unslugged it enough trying to get the truck full.
Yeah, it really is not worth it.
It has never one time been worth it.
Wind's blowing, sun's shining. I mean, it's like the nicest harvest day you could ever have. So I'm gonna go try it. All right, the wind is pretty bad out here, but I'm gonna check here and I'll show you what we got going on. Let's see if these deck plates have moved open or not. Just looking at them here. All right, let's check them out. All right, so this is where the head folds right here. You got 6 rows in the middle that don't fold. So those are on power. I mean, the cylinder will hold them where they're supposed to be no matter what. So them are at, let me see here, I'll have to measure without my phone. So I got them set right now at 1.5 inches. Now these ones here are the ones that are gonna move on me. Let me see what these are. That's a great angle for you guys, but I picked a bin full. I just picked one bin full. Damn, they're right at 1.5 inches too, so that's good. That's right what I want. I'm hoping they'll stay there. I'm gonna keep an eye on them today. I mean, I'm gonna keep checking them obviously, but I just picked a full bin full and they stayed where they're supposed to, so that's good. see Emily's coming down the road. She always runs home, and we're picking on the road that she runs home on, so. Ma'am, I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
This run really sucks.
Can I offer you a break?
Why do you need me to do something?
Yeah, I need you to run the grain cart.
Are you for real?
Yeah. I have to pick down to that headland down there. And if you help me get it opened up, then we can just park the grain cart at this end, and I can just dump in it when I come down here.
I guess that's what a farm wife does, right?
Yeah, alright.
Blech.
Do it. Alright, get her fired up.
Is it a CVT or is it a...
It's a shifter.
No. What?
Alright, you want the rundown again?
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, if you hear a big loaf falling over in the background, it's Mason working on his combine, but we're going to ignore him for now and talk about our guest who's here on the farm today. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about, so Marcel brought us the concaves that we're using, and now you can introduce yourself and tell us all about it.
Right on, I appreciate it. You're all good now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, my name is Marcel Kringer. I'm the founder and the CEO of a company called Bushel Plus. We do everything around harvest optimization. So what the New Age Custom Farming crew is actually using is our MAD Concaves, which is a modular design. So it's our split frame that goes into your CR machine. That frame never comes out. And now if you guys change from different crops, you don't have to have this big exercise of changing the main concave anymore. You're only changing these inserts that you showed in the video. And now one person can change concaves in about 15 minutes by themselves. And then you guys also have our smart pen system to check out your grain loss of what comes on the back of the combine. So you know what your bushel per acre grain loss is, but also can set the sensitivity on the sensors. So when Avery or Mason or you sitting in the cab, you know what the display, the bar, the graph on the display, they go up or down, you know how many bushel that actually is out the back. Because now you ground truth it with that. And you guys have the mini combine too.
Yeah, we got it all.
Yeah, you got it all. So you're fully equipped and basically putting it through the hard test here on the farm.
And you know, you've learned from your few days with us that we really put things.
Yeah, I've been. It's been funny for a couple of days. See what's all going on. You are putting it through the ringer, but just good because we built stuff to last, and it's good to put it to the test.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about like your company philosophy, how it started, and everything too?
Yeah, so essentially I'm the founder. So I started the company about a decade ago as a hobby. So I'm originally from Germany, as you can hear my accent. I learned your language on a two-way radio running a forage harvester when I moved to Canada. But to make a long story short, I'm a farm kid by heart. Ag engineering is my background. And when I started the company, I was working for other custom harvesting crews and also as an agronomist for Cargill. And I just saw how much farmers are putting in investment, the best seed, the best fertilizer, the best crop. And harvest, you know, there was too many bushels coming out the back of the machines. And then it turns out that I was just helping farmers setting combines, and they really appreciated that, told their buddies, told their friends, and it turned into, hey, you know what, how about we get some of those smart pens for the farm? And well, I came to Canada with nothing, basically with a bag of clothing, just as an adventure, and kind of in quotation marks got stuck in Canada in a good way. But what happened is I showed the prototypes at a trade show in November, and then farmers saw that and said, oh, hey, I want one. And I said, okay, I don't have them here, but I'll build them for you. And they basically cut me a check right there in November and said, here's a check, see you in June. So they really helped getting the business going with that trust. And where do you find that other than ag, such cool people with a relationship business, that they give you a full check, which helped me kind of get a company going, which was just a hobby. It wasn't supposed to be a company. So now I keep telling our employees, which are now 33 employees in 3 countries. So we have employees in Australia, US, and Canada. And our products now go into over 40 different countries.
That's crazy.
Which is nuts when you think about I sat in my basement 10 years ago just to think about, oh, we can do this as a hobby.
Yeah.
And again, we had lots of great help from customers trusting us, partnerships that were building the products for me in the beginning, now for us. And I keep telling our employees, you know, we can't forget where we came from, because we're a real company now and it's global and, you know, it looks cool on social media. But you have to be humble and kind, because you can never forget why we were able to get this going. And it was because the farmers trusted me and us in the beginning. And now when we have something going on around the world, we always want to make sure we do the right thing for the farmers, because again, they helped us getting going, and at the end of the day, it's about building good equipment for farmers to harvest more, make them more money, and help them be more safe with the equipment that we have. So it kind of goes full circle of we want to do the right thing for agriculture, putting more grain in people's bins.
You helped the farmers and the farmers helped you in the beginning.
Yes, exactly. So that has to come full circle, and that's our passion, our philosophy all day long, basically.
Well, it looks like our service truck showed up, so now we can get to the helping in the field too. So when you're riding along with the boys right now in the combine, what have you been scoping out with them and helping with all of that?
So we started yesterday here with Avery's combine, and Mason was in soybeans here a couple days ago when I showed up. And the main feedback, or the first feedback they gave me was, hey, it's a lot easier now to set the combine with these concaves, because they seem to be doing a better job threshing, so getting the kernels out of the heads in wheat and getting the kernels out of the pods in soybeans. And therefore it's a lot easier to set up the machine, because the machine actually does what it's supposed to, get the grain out of the concaves, leave the straw in the rotor, and now you can figure out with the sieves and the wind settings the finer details. And I was just riding around with Mason here, and he said the same thing again. He says, you know, those soybeans are so green on the stems that he just couldn't believe how well it cleaned up the sample, which is super cool to hear.
Yeah, good first in the field feedback you're
getting.
getting.
and that's what we wanted. Now we have two combines here, kind of a side-by-side comparison, which is awesome. And now they're just putting the extensions into the outer position so that we have more material to be able to go past the rotor, or more opening, I should say, so that we have that machine nicely dialed in and not break any cobs.
Perfect. Well, let's go check out what they're doing, and then we'll continue on with our day of harvest. So Marcel just flew his drone over Mason's combine for a little bit, because Mason's combine is the one that has the Concaves Bushel Plus in it. And he was looking at the sample actually from the sky that was going into the grain tank, and they're going to make a few adjustments in Mason's combine, and then hopefully that'll make it do an even better job than what it's already been doing.
You had it tight.
Oh yeah. They're tight. We weren't letting anything fall out.
Yeah. It would have not.
No, I don't think that was going to fall out.
Yeah, and put it in the outer position. Yeah. Looks like you found a stone.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Looks like you found a stone.
Oh yeah?
But that's fine.
Sure it won't be the last one.
Promise.
I promise that won't be the last stone.
So we're putting the drop pan on right now. That's slick.
That's all it takes. 2 seconds there, and then with the remote control, the LED pan drops down as you drive. So the cool thing with these New Holland machines is, or in general wide body machines, is you can also put the carrier right underneath the feeder house. And now when you're driving in some taller stalks, it's nicely tucked away and higher up than it is on the axle. So Mason gives me the remote here. You can now press the button of the remote control. If it's turned on. And now, of course I turned it off. Why would it be any other way? And now you press the button of the remote control, and as the combine keeps driving, the pan falls down. So we feed power to the permanent electromagnets for 1 second, and then it falls down. Versus now there's no power and everything holds together with magnets here. So it takes you 2 seconds to mount it with these permanent magnets here, and you're good to go.
So as they're driving away, they have the drop pan in the back, and then Marcel also has another drop pan with him that he's gonna put by the head. I just walked out of my own shoe. And I'm gonna see if I can get it on camera for you guys. But essentially right now they're just dialing everything in so that we reduce our loss as much as possible. Really good to get these combines dialed in as we head into harvest. And then I'm sure we'll be tweaking things as the days keep going on.
We dropped the one pan with the remote control here in the middle of the machine. There's our double narrow pan. It's supposed to kind of crush in between the corn stalks. And then we just place this one by hand here right behind the header safely. You can also drop that with a secondary carrier as well. But now you have basically two tests here. One in the middle of the machine and one on the outside. I just have to make sure the grain cart doesn't hit them. So now after they dropped, you can take the trash and the whole sample and put it into the air separator. In corn, there's usually not much trash in the pans, but it's still kind of nice to clean it out so you don't have to go through that by hand and guessing. Soybeans, wheat, canola, all that kind of stuff obviously is really handy. You put the whole sample in here and you blow out the chaff and the straw. So the double narrow pan has these tabs here, and then they come nicely apart. So now you can put each pan into the air separator so you don't have to fiddle around with two of them beside each other. Because now with the battery operated unit here, you can just blow out the chaff and you can nicely differentiate what is an actual kernel of grain loss and what is not. Turn on the scale from 0 so we're not weighing the lid. And we're just putting our grain loss on the scale. So be a bit careful with the wind. And we want to make sure the cob's all clean, but Mason and I checked that earlier. So we want to have the cobs as long as possible and no grain left on them, of course. So. And we open up the concaves a bit more and we slowed the rotor down a bit more for that. I'll do the same thing here. Turn this thing on. Away from the scale and right in Mason's face. Right. Sorry. Alright, this doesn't look bad either. So now, for the fun of it, after a while somebody gets really good, they can look in the air separator and know, okay, we're doing really good. But in the beginning, and especially when you're using the app, you want to make sure you weigh it pick out anything that's not grain. 0.6 on the middle. So now we have the Smart Drop app that comes with the Smart Pan system. You can trigger the pan also from the app, so you can make it drop from your phone. But right now, we want to check on our grain loss here. So most of that stuff is actually going to be spread through the chaff spreaders, and the New Hollands put it to the outsides. So the app is asking you now here, what are you doing with your chaff spread? Are you spreading it all the way across? Are you putting it through a chaff spreader? Or are you dropping it in the windrow? And there's a whole bunch of options here for some Australian methods, or some seed terminator, Radicop seed destroyer, or some header loss. So what we're doing now here with the New Holland, we're choosing chaff spreader to the sides here. And then technically we're spreading our straw here as well. We're not dropping it. So we're using this option right here. We dropped one pen in the middle, one on the outside. And now we're just going to say here, Mason test 1. And corn right away populates the density here. You have a 12-row header, so that's 30-foot header. So we got a 30-foot header here. On the sieves, we're spreading about 20 feet because we're spreading 10 to the left, 10 to the right, but nothing in the middle. And then this one we can put about 25 in here. So now we had a 40-inch, sorry, we had the narrow one in the middle. And we found
That's 0.6, I think you said.
0.6 on there. We had 0.6. Whoops. But the double narrow pan is actually not in the app yet. It's just about to come out. So if you take this in half, so 0.3, because we will only have basically take this in half from what we measured on that same width, on that same area, I should say. And then on the outside, we dropped a 40-inch wide pan here, and we had
That's
1.2. There you go. So now we hit calculate, and now we're seeing we have under a quarter bushel sieve loss, under half a bushel rotor walker loss, and our total loss is just over half a bushel. And what roughly do you think is the yield here? Just roughly 250. So in this good spot down here, if we say we harvest 250 bushel per acre corn, let's just say we're getting $3 for it, just for the theory here. Would love to get $10, of course. How many acres per hour are we doing here?
15.
Just roughly 15. Let's just go roughly 15. And then let's just say it's a 1,000-acre field, or you have 1,000 acres of corn. You hit calculate. So currently we're losing about 0.2% of the yield that is growing here. So that's awesome, because it's less than 1/4%. So $1 per acre, we're losing $1.80 per acre. And then per hour, we're currently losing $27 per hour, which of course we want to have as low as possible. But when you look at a total field loss, it's about $1,800.
If this is 1,000 acres.
If this would be a 1,000-acre field, or if you have 1,000 acres total on your farm, right? So now, compared to the yield, 0.2% is really, really good. You've seen, or we've seen a lot of, $500, $800, $1,000 per hour sometimes coming out the back of the machines. Doesn't matter the color. It's oftentimes, we get asked what's the best combine. Well, it all depends on oftentimes, or most of the time, what's between the steering wheel and the seat.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, and that's Mason right there.
See, the proof is in the pudding. I'm good.
Oh, come
There you
on.
go. And then the other thing is too, if you don't check, you don't know. Right now we checked and we know it's good, but it could be something broken on the combine. Like yesterday, a couple things broke, and we realized that because we were checking for grain loss, and we figured out the header was losing a lot more than we wanted it to be. But if you never check, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So this looks really good right now, but we also could have started at 5 bushel and worked our way down. And of course, we ran a couple rounds before we started doing the video. So
We've only done about,
you know,
9 acres of corn. So, I mean, it's not like we were set up and really hammering it out. I got here today at noon. And
yeah.
we've done 10 acres, and it's a lot of setting.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like, what did you find with these O-grade concaves from MAD Concaves from us? Like, how the combine is a little different to set.
This is obviously the first corn I've picked up and doing beans. I have found setting it in beans was just, it seemed easier to me. And when we were picking beans with how green stemmed and a lot of green pods in there, it was separating them out very well without cracking. Because they're dry, but the stem is green and there's some green pods, and usually then you end up grinding some beans or you don't get them out of the pods. And with these, I felt like we got almost all of the beans out of the pods with very few splits. Is what I have found. Because before, like last year, we've been dealing, people in the Midwest know the green stem bean issue that we've been having. And it seemed like in the past years I was cracking them way worse to get, you're over threshing them, but you had to get some of them out because there's a lot of pods in the sample. I guess that's what I found, and they just seem easier to set, and the loss has been, as you see, it's just no loss. I mean, they've been way easier to set at times.
So last year you ran round bar concaves in soybeans?
Yep.
Okay. Right on. Thank you, right on. And then the last thing for this whole unit is now in the app, you can now hit save data. So it saves all the loss results we just figured out. But now you can put your variety in here, all your combine settings if you like, crop moisture, you can put a picture with it or notes, and you can save that, share it with somebody else, or now you have it on your phone, so next week or next year when you go into similar conditions or a similar variety, now you have a starting point. So the system is not just a pan, a nice tool, or something to use for a moment. The whole system altogether is designed to learn more about your machine. Because every time you do that and you set your benchmarks in here, next time you set it in a similar variety, it's a whole lot easier and you learn a lot more about it, how the machine reacts. So it's going to get easier every time.
For us, we switch varieties quite a bit. You know, from farm to farm, everyone seems we plant different varieties everywhere. And it's one thing that Avery and I have noticed a lot picking corn. It changes so much because you come in this variety, it's got a little bit of green stalk in it. The green's dry though, and you might get in the next field and it might be a lot greener of a plant and wetter grain or drier grain, and that would be very handy to know, hey, last time I checked it, we were here.
Exactly. You can't manage what you don't measure, right?
Yep.
That's the saying. That's Mason's new favorite saying. You can't manage what you don't measure.
Right.
Okay, I'll be asking you about that at the end of harvest. What you
we're
all
managed and measured.
That's awesome.
So you were saying this is a new prototype and it's supposed to make it easier for when it falls in between the corn stalks, and I think that landed absolutely perfectly.
Yes, as soon as you're cutting corn stalks without like some of those rollers on the header, or some of those corn devastators, whatever way you want to call them, if you have them in this height, this pan is basically an add-on for these conditions, or even sunflowers. It's actually was developed for tall canola stalks, and then we realized it works really well in corn stalks too. Yeah. And in sunflowers, like we also have like a 20-inch version. So like this is a 40-inch width, but we have a 20-inch version of this whole system, specifically for milo, sunflowers,
and research combines. Where some of those stock 30-inch row crop, they can be like sunflowers a mile this tall. So it's really hard to get a pan in there. But a 20-inch falls nicely in between the rows.
We then went to the grain facility to see what our sample looked like there when I was unloading from the trucks, and then I spent the rest of the day combining.
guess I gotta look at my mirrors more.
Looks like Marcel's got his toy out in the wind, fighting for its life.
Combine racing. Now don't speed it up too bad that you mess up stuff.
Yeah, don't show that roll over there. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, Avery already owes around. Avery says I don't have to film his row of shame, so that means I'm gonna.
Yep.
What do you have to say about it?
I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen when I was doing that pass right there, but here we are. I had to drive back down here anyway. I'd be driving down here without picking a thing, so if you ask me, I'm more efficient this way.
And we got Mason about to cut us off.
Keep going from us, that's fine. Go get him, Tiger.
Well, Marcel left us a few hours ago, but we want to thank him for spending the entire weekend out here with us, and especially right when we're beginning harvest, to get our combines kind of tuned in, figured out, and make us better aware of how to use the tools that they have, so that for the rest of harvest, we can use their tools and make our combines do a really good job.
Yeah, it's definitely helped us learn some things, and he's a good dude, so that's good.
So we have a discount code for Bushel Plus. It's NACF10 for their mini combine and their drop pan, which I think Avery, because we don't have the concave here, it's the drop pan for you is your favorite product of theirs.
Yep, I really like the drop pan. It's a good tool to have to actually quantify what you're leaving in the field. So that's what I like about it. And it's super simple to use too.
Yeah, as Marcel said earlier, you can't manage what you don't monitor. So it's good to have that tool. So like I said, NACF10 is our discount code for 10% off of the concave or of the mini combine and the drop pan, and then NACF5 for 5% off the concaves. If you were to purchase the concaves for your combine as well. But that's going to be it for our first full weekend of harvest. And again, like I said, thanks so much to Bushel Plus and Marcel for coming on out.